Ravenswood, episode 2, the second part of our
Yes.
3-part series.
Yeah. Yes.
Our 3-part mini-series on the limited, I'm going to call it the limited series, Ravenswood.
Our limited series on the limited series, Ravenswood.
Of Ravenswood. Ravenswood. Yeah, welcome to We're Liars in Ravenswood. Welcome.
Welcome. Hi.
How are you feeling?
I gotta
Are you
tell
happy we
ya,
did this?
I am so happy we did this. I am very much enjoying this. Dare I say I enjoyed these episodes we're about to talk about more than the slew of PLL episodes we have covered. I don't know if it's where I'm at mentally in life. I don't know. I don't know, but this has got to be the biggest surprise.
I'm glad. I'm so glad.
And maybe I'm alone on this. I don't know. But this is like going into this, as you said, like, Michelle, we're going to do it. It's going to be like comical. It's going to be really bad. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And then I'm like, why is this good? Why is this? Maybe it's going to get bad.
I think it might get bad.
Well, you know.
I do and I don't. I think, and we'll obviously discuss, but I think the first 3 episodes were good, and then the last 2 we're going to discuss, I found a little.
Do you think they're losing?
I think we're
losing the plot.
They're losing a little momentum. Mm-hmm.
And I agree because, my notes were pretty good. And then we get to the final episode and there's a lot of LOLs in my notes.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, how are you finding it? This is your second time watching it. There's years apart.
Yeah. And again, like almost absolutely nothing is coming back to me. I don't remember anything.
No
I don't remember
way.
how this goes. Yeah. I vaguely remembered that Caleb had like died but came back to life kind of thing. And I was like, I think, but I don't remember how it happened. I just was like, I think that was it. I don't even know if my memory was correct, but I guess maybe it was.
Right.
So yeah, it's all fresh to me. Listeners that have wrote in, Charlie and Mike, have been watching this series with us, and they both are not really too keen on it. Mike's giving it a 2.
No, I'm giving it like a 4 right now. That's how, and again, I enjoy PLL because we're doing it together and it's entertaining for us to watch and it's become like a ritual. And obviously we're covering it for the show, but like quality wise, it hasn't been good. And we have said that. So, and maybe it's watching this series as we're covering it in a binging way. It's easier to digest, or I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
If we were watching PLL, if I was casually watching it and I was just watching the next, maybe I would feel different.
Yeah, and I think that that's what the binging culture does.
Well, sure.
Like,
sure.
makes everything appear better because you're not waiting, but also, and we've talked about this, I feel like I absorb absolutely nothing when I binge.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's just one into the next, and you're like, okay, well, I remember like the beginning of the show and the end of the show, and the middle is kind of like
Yep.
wishy-washy.
That's right.
Before we jump in, I want to shout out Tori, who wrote a very, very sweet email. They're currently in season 2 of Pretty Little Liars, so if you got here and you're listening to Ravenswood, hello.
Hi.
We appreciate you reaching out and that you're enjoying the show, because that's what matters.
Thank you so much for sending us an email and letting us know you're in season 2, even though you know we're ahead. So that's just really special. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So Charlie says, do you think any of these characters have a connection to Rosewood or any of our PLL characters besides Caleb?
That's such a great question. And besides Carla, of course, because Carla has a connection to Alice.
Right, she does.
Grunwald, I should say.
I know, Grunwald.
Well, because we know Ravenswood ends, it makes me think they don't.
Yeah. I think there is nothing overlapping besides the fact that we keep referencing that Caleb and Hannah are in a relationship.
Right.
Other than that, I don't think any of the characters have anything to do with Rosewood.
Right.
This is, as we can continue, this is strictly Ravenswood. The plot in Ravenswood does not matter in Rosewood.
Yeah, the only thing that matters is Caleb. And this whole time I'm watching Caleb and his story progress over these episodes is like, okay, so when we go back to Rosewood,
Yeah.
this is now a part of him. Like, this is now a layer to his character. And I feel like I will watch Caleb differently, even though this probably all does not matter in the grand
Yep.
scheme. So that's so much.
Yep.
Especially
I know.
when we get to what happens in episode 5 to, this theory of Caleb. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know.
That's all I remember about the show is that, it got canceled too soon or currently maybe the right amount of episodes. And that we go back to normal life and we have to just pretend that he didn't die, and come back to life. Like I don't even
Unless that
I don't
cancels
even
out,
remember.
unless that's not the actual theory. Because right now, where we leave off, like that's just the theory of it all.
Right.
So maybe that's
Right. He could have actually just died.
Yeah.
And we don't know. We think that he's alive because Miranda had seen him, but maybe all of them are dead,
Well, for sure. For sure.
Okay, so let's get into episode 2, which is titled Death and the Maiden. The summary is Caleb struggles in the aftermath of what happened at Ravenswood Homecoming Parade. Remy begins to draw troubling parallels between recent events and painful chapters in Ravenswood history. Luke bristles at Caleb's presence, especially around Remy, and Miranda can't quite grasp her new reality. Meanwhile, Luke tries to make Olivia face some hard truths about their parents, and Caleb comes face to face with the last person he'd ever expect to. So we're unsure about how these kids actually got out of this car. How did they get out of this car that was submerged in water? There is no talks about it.
How are they also all dry? Like
their
hair, their makeup is fine. Like Olivia's eye makeup was in perfect condition. I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am. We should have had some like mascara running.
Yeah, the continuity there, I feel, was lacking. It was a real stretch, a really hard stretch.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they do lose Miranda. So were you surprised to see that they were killing her?
I was surprised. Also, I just was laughing at my past self calling her Ghost Girl.
Well, and she basically is going to be Ghost Girl.
She's Ghost
this
Girl.
whole season.
We didn't know that in the backdoor pilot yet.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about her being a ghost? Do you like how that's driving the plot?
Yeah, this is something I wanted to talk to you about because, as you know, I don't gravitate towards horror or that genre in general. And I find her story and being a ghost and navigating her trying to figure out this new lifestyle, if you will, of hers very interesting. Like when I think of a ghost, you think of them just, haunting and I don't know, floating around. And I like this idea of like, she's a scared ghost.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know what to do out here in this other dimension, basically, or like another plane, right? What the other side,
the other
basically.
side, and she's stuck, and so she wants to try to figure out how do I continue on. So I like that she's a scared ghost.
Yeah, and I imagine when you first get to the other side that you are like, no, I'm not ready to go yet because I'm still, or maybe you are. I don't know. You watch many shows,
right?
Like Supernatural or Ghost Whisperer, for instance. Like you see these shows where they show ghosts and they have this option to just go to the next chapter in their journey. Or they stay stuck.
And they have unfinished business, I guess.
Right. It's usually the unfinished business. So I guess it makes sense that she's so young.
Yeah.
She really didn't know her parents. And now she's like, well, my parents are also dead. So can I find them here? Which is awful and so sad. And then the added layer of, well, I'm also a part of this curse that's happening. Do I play, like, what is my role in all of this? So she's got a lot to stay for.
Yeah. And it's interesting too for her to be so afraid of other supernatural happenings, even though she's dead.
Yeah.
Like when she's in the house and she's in the main house, the main Collins house, and the lights start flickering and she hears noises and that freaks her out. And I'm like, but can't you just like float to another place? And she seems to be stuck. Like she's confined to that property. Like she's never going off, it seems, yet.
Right. Like, and as we get deeper into the episodes,
Well, she shows
she
up to
does
she does
travel a little
travel,
bit
but
more.
right now it seems she's very confined. So that it's like navigating your new ghost life, which is fascinating to me.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you like that. Honestly, it's probably the least interesting part for
Wow,
me to
I am
watch.
alone. And Carla
I think
Grunwald,
it's
yeah.
just something about Miranda's character that I don't gravitate
Yeah,
towards.
I mean, she's not my favorite by any means, but I like that she's the dead one. Not
Mm,
that I wanted her to die, but I think this makes sense for this story.
I think it makes sense too.
And I like that Carla Grunwald, she said a quote to Caleb, the existence of the soul is independent on your limited experience, which I
Mm,
love because at this point, Caleb is like questioning everything and, you know, what's true, what's not. So,
yeah.
yeah, anyway.
Yeah, and Caleb sees Miranda in a dream,
Yeah,
which she tells him, "Can you get my bag from Remy's car?" And he wakes up and he's like, "Ah, that was weird." But Carla does say, like, acknowledge that you have seen spirit. Like, I'm implying that I know that you did.
right, exactly.
um, and embrace it a little bit more. So Caleb and Remy go and get her bag, which was a whole nother scenario with this dog chasing them. But she gets the bag from the car, and inside is Miranda's mother's letter that she had left her. And this is like the thing that sparks Caleb to actually be able to see Miranda in, I was going to say in the flesh, but in his waking state and not a dream state.
Right.
So, and he's at first the only one who can see her.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and as the episodes progress, she develops her quote power, I'm going to say, or her abilities as a ghost. So like at first she can't really just show up wherever she wants, and then eventually she's able to kind of touch things and move them, and then by the end of the first half she's actually leaving the mansion.
Right. Yeah.
So we have a little bit of the development there, which I did like, because we get to see, her honing in on what she's capable of.
Yeah.
And maybe that will work to her advantage, or like the kids' advantage of figuring this whole thing out. Because it has, in each episode, she kind of develops a little bit more and then goes to one of them and says, like, hey, I think you should check this out. So
I liked her thought process on when she shows up to Caleb and Caleb's like, I had a dream about you. And she's like, that wasn't a dream. And
yeah.
and then she's like, this idea of maybe everyone in our dreams are just ghosts trying to
Mm.
figure themselves out and pass on. And I was like, oh my God, that's fascinating.
I know. What a theory.
Just fun. It's just fun to think about. Or
It
I find
is.
it fun and interesting to think about stuff like that.
No, and I do too.
Yeah.
Because of the car accident, Remy's parents forbid her to be near Luke.
Yep.
And Luke's mother does the same.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't really not approve of this relationship, but you both just been through a lot. Plus Luke's family history, the town is not really on their side right now. But it's still this like same Romeo and Juliet super cute business that I was enjoying in the pilot episode. I think their chemistry is still really good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Remy does more research about the curse, and it's got this like looming Final Destination-esque. Mike is like, is this show trying to be Ghost meets Final Destination? It's giving off that vibe. I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like the kids have actually like cheated death.
Right.
And now death is like, well, no, you were supposed to die. So as the show progresses, they're able to now see spirits and be closer to the other side than they ever were before, especially like these past kids that have passed away in this same tragic way. So yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely an interesting storyline. I always enjoyed the Final Destination movies. I liked that concept. You never seen any of them?
Nope.
No.
I have no interest.
Yeah.
But now maybe I do. But actually, no, I don't. If I had to
No.
cover it for content, fine. But on
Yes.
my own will, I'm not.
And like
watching.
obviously, like they're still. I think they just came out with another one.
Yeah.
They're just really suckling on that teat. That long
The
teat,
franchise.
the franchise teat, because there's too many. But the originals
They're good.
are good. Yeah, I enjoy them. But so Charlie asks, what is our theory on this curse? And now at this point we don't really even truly know what it is.
Yeah, I feel like I was with what the kids were uncovering, and then when we get to the end, I was like, wait, what? Like,
I know.
two people sacrificed themselves hoping that
That it would bring Miranda and Kayla back. I'm like,
together
what?
and they would break the curse.
Yeah, that's where it lost me. That's where it
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was like, wait, what? It felt like a hard stop, like a record screech. I was like,
yeah.
this is so, this,
Like I can get behind the soldier coming home, kids
same.
need to die. But it's also like now because the kids didn't, is that just adding this different layer to Ravenswood and what the town normally goes through when these
Right.
tragic teens die. So this is, and I know we're jumping ahead, but it seems as though the past, this couple that had, I guess, ended their lives to bring back Caleb and Miranda, in a way, did bring back Caleb and Miranda to Ravenswood.
They did.
And now
They did.
that's hopefully going to break the curse. That's all we can make of it at this point. We don't know.
Right.
And honestly, I have a feeling we're probably not going to get the answer by the end of the next 5 episodes because, as I have said, they were canceled prematurely. I have a feeling we're not going to know.
And also, let's tie in Raymond.
Yeah.
And the
what's going on?
And the cutting
What's
of the
going on with him?
hair. Although I have to say, I'm like very attracted to him.
Well, I mean, he's a good-looking dude.
He's so good looking, and
he's very quiet, very mysterious.
At one point, he's wearing what looks like a shacket out of his white, and I was like, oh, excuse me.
I know.
And then when we go,
he's very fit.
He's very fit, and then we go into his office, and we have all these vials of things, and like I am weirdly attracted. What I've discovered in the past couple of years, but always has been inside me, the mad scientist, the guy with the things within the jars. I love that. So
he's like your perfect monster. He is like Igor.
Oh, well, maybe just Dr. Frankenstein, but
that's what I meant, Dr. Frankenstein.
but yeah, he anyway, what he has something to do with all of this as well, or maybe not, because Mrs. Grunwald, she keeps saying like throughout this, like, oh, you need to do this now, and we see what he's up to. So is that related to these two old people? Like,
yeah. So Luke presents Olivia with a letter that their dad wrote to their mom.
Yep.
It implies that she was cheating, but when Olivia asks her, she says she doesn't like deny it, just she doesn't confirm it either, and she's just like, leave this alone. And then we go into the next episode, which is titled Believe. And in this episode, Luke is resistant when Caleb and Remy try to convince him that Ravenswood is plagued by a supernatural curse. To convince him, they try and contact the other side, with Olivia beginning her own investigation into her father's death, which turns out to be more sinister than she was expecting. Remy grows more concerned about her mother, who has recently returned from Afghanistan, and while Miranda continues to yearn for a connection with her family, she begins to feel like someone or something is watching her. Meanwhile, everyone gathers for a somber event, and the Collins and Miranda both offer Caleb a reason to stay in Ravenswood.
Yeah. So at this point, this is day 3.
I guess so, right? Day 3. And so Caleb's only known Miranda for 3 days.
Well, that's brought up a couple of times. Like, how long did you know her? Even in this episode, because it's Miranda's funeral. Because I was
which
like,
is really sad.
I know. When we finished episode 2, I was like, why is Caleb still here? Why are we keeping him here? And then when we get to her funeral, I was like, okay, so he's going to stay for the service. Because I'm so fixated on how do we get to 10 like, how many days are we staying here, bro? And I understand now you want to figure it out, but
I think at one point we figure out that he has been there a week.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like by the end of these 5 episodes, it's been a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, like he stays around for I'm assuming he stays around obviously because these supernatural things are happening. Right. Miranda's there, and then they're going to bury her.
Yes.
And now because of that, what's his name, Raymond, is, it's like unclear. You're like, well, is he offering him a place to stay because he needs him there, or is he actually being
I know.
nice and to him, or like does he need him for some purpose? I mean, obviously I feel like he's like, oh, Caleb should, but then again, I feel like the town expected them all to die, so the fact that they're all here,
You think the town
besides
all
Miranda,
expected them to die?
well, or at least like Raymond and Grunwald, I think they were expecting if 5 teens were together and a soldier had come home, then
like,
or maybe they don't know. I honestly, I have a feeling that this hair business,
the hair business.
well, I don't know. We'll get to that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get to that. Okay.
So Miranda struggles with being, as we said, between life and death, especially during her funeral, where she just suddenly disappears in this like swarm of ravens.
Yeah.
Like we were kind of like very meticulously adding ravens into the show.
Yep.
But not really. It's yeah. Like as the show goes on, we're adding more ravens elements.
Yes.
Olivia and Luke begin investigating their father's past with a woman named Abby. And apparently Abby was his high school girlfriend who had died over 20 years ago. And Abby now is trying to communicate with Olivia. And it seems as though Abby also was trying to communicate with their father.
Yeah.
And the mother is like, your father was saying she was trying to communicate with him, but she's dead. So that's like, okay, that's interesting. And Olivia, this is the first that we see besides Caleb seeing someone. Now Olivia is seeing potentially a ghost, and she knows that it's her because she confirms in the yearbook this is what she looked like.
Yeah.
We had that really cool scene where she goes into the science lab and she kind of almost re-witnesses like what happened to those kids, and what happened to those kids was a fire.
Yep.
So now we're getting more and more stories. So then the first episode, it seemed like it was only two events.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no, every decade there's like another thing
I'm
that's
glad
happening.
that we found that out and they added that in because it supports the case.
Right.
More.
And now it supports it more so that, okay, well, these kids were supposed to die, but they didn't die.
Right.
So is that the thing that now everyone's going to be, that's what I'm fixated on, okay, now these kids were supposed to die and they didn't. What does that mean for the town and this curse?
And these kids keep having brushes with death.
Right. Right. In each episode, there's all these like sightings and possessions and all these things that are happening that it seems like they're going to keep, it's going to keep hurting them and potentially trying to kill them.
Right.
But they dodge the bullet.
Right.
Again.
Right.
Yeah. But then it's like, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the first time with the Ouija board and the chandelier, Miranda stops that. And then the second time with the chandelier, Caleb stops that. In a way. Like they're like, hey, get out of the way.
Well,
so I'm like, oh, is it Caleb and Miranda that have to keeping these people safe?
Yeah. I mean, I'm also thinking about when Luke is working out and the barbell falls on his neck and he struggles to get that up. And then when they're in the junkyard, the window to Remy's car, when she's in, reaching over through the window to get Miranda's bag out, the window starts to roll up and squish her. Mm-hmm. So, but also Caleb saves her at that point.
Yeah.
And then Luke he sees Springer Spaniel.
Springer Spaniel.
but what's interesting about the chandelier, why I'm very interested. Why is it always a chandelier falling?
I know. That's the only way they can like kill a bunch of people at one time or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Caleb, Remy, Olivia, and Luke conduct a seance on this makeshift Ouija board, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
This part I enjoyed until they were showing how at the end where the ghosts were basically moving the letters themselves. I was like, okay, the CGI in there was
and it, like,
really cringy to me.
Spells out 5-packed.
Yes, 5-packed. And then at that point, the chandelier almost crushes them.
Right.
So after this warning, after warning Caleb of danger, this is Miranda now. She's like, okay, please stop the seance. This isn't, I don't feel good about this. There are people out here, and then they're trying to contact Abby. And so it's unclear if it's Abby out there and Miranda's like looking for her. But then when the chandelier crashes, at this point, Miranda is now visible to everyone,
Yeah.
not just Caleb.
So at this point, does that mean they unlocked a sense within themselves to now believe and see?
Maybe. Or and in addition to that, Miranda is also like furthering her ability to have people see
That's true.
her,
Right.
right?
That's
Because
true.
she's like glowing.
She's glowing, right? She is
It's
glowing.
so strange. What was that about? Look, Edward Cullen
I
going
know.
over here.
So true. So true.
Yeah. Remy's dad also in this episode is watching footage of her mother's troop in Afghanistan at the end the ambush. I don't know if I mean, obviously I'm sure we'll get back to that at some point. But Remy is like, you need to tell mom that you have this. And he's like, no, you can't. You have to hide this. But it looks like she also then takes it and she's going to like send it out or something, right? Or she's going to like mail it to her mother.
Yeah, it's in her possession.
Yeah.
Now. That's really tough. And I'm like, why would you want to watch that? Like, your spouse went through that. Why would you want to view that? Maybe like we know what happened. It's not like we're viewing
Right.
before your wife sees it. I don't know. That was it was part of the exit plan. Ugh,
Yeah.
tough.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we have the fourth episode where this is kind of where I lost the plot
You
a little
did?
bit.
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
All right, so episode 4 is The Devil Has a Face. Still unnerved by what he witnessed during the seance, Luke searches for a distraction, but realizes there may be no escape for what is haunting the group. Olivia bonds with Miranda and is surprised to discover their families may have shared a secret. And Caleb is caught between new and old loyalties when he struggles to share what happened in Ravenswood with Hannah. Meanwhile, Remy and Caleb investigate an intriguing new clue into the town's past. Luke is surprised to find common ground with Tess, and Miranda thinks she may have finally found what she's been searching for.
Oh.
So in theory, like this episode seemed like it was we're gonna get somewhere, and I did kind of like how it started. And as we said throughout this episode, I feel like the most the kids are like they're still alive, but they're dodging death, and there's hallucinations and Remy sleepwalking and Ravens trying to get in the middle of them, and all these signs are trying to kill them. Mike says, was Remy sleepwalking real, or is this a possession of some sort?
I think this is real. And I think she has done this before because the way her dad finds her and reacts,
Yeah.
it seems like he has stopped her before. Didn't you feel
Yeah.
that way?
Yeah, I think so. And it's in the first episode, her mother apparently has night terrors.
Right.
And now Remy sleepwalks. So
Right.
are they closer? Well, now that obviously they're both have been brushed with death.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a side effect, or this is something that's just been like lingering in them for their whole lives, and now it's just more apparent, or more like it keeps happening more.
Yeah, it's intensified.
Yeah. And Remy also, as she's sleepwalking, is kind of visualizing things too. Like she fills up her water cup and inside is blood.
Right.
And so her dad comes in thinking like, oh, you were sleeping. And it's like, well, maybe she wasn't actually sleeping. And she's just seeing.
It could be.
It could have been a hallucination, or the ghost spirits have made her see this.
Right.
Because it's clear like when the dad comes in, it's just water. But
Yeah. Right.
yeah. So Miranda discovers her uncle has this dark secret room, and the kids go to investigate, and in there is locks of hair from like a lot of people.
In my notes, I was like, love Raymond's office. Oh my God. Raymond collects hair, exclamation point.
a little snippet of hair, and they're all labeled initialed.
Yeah, and we see him cut a piece of Miranda's hair when he was preparing her, because at first, in the beginning, when Miranda dies, and we take the body away, I'm like, we haven't seen the dead body yet. But then it's like revealed. Okay, this is where my head was at. So they find all of this hair. Fast. Now we're going to go back to present, what we're talking about. They find all this hair. And Caleb ends up questioning, which I think we'll get into. But what I'm confused about is one, why does Raymond dig up Miranda and then cut more hair?
I think because Miranda in this hidden room, she basically blows up her hair sample because she shatters the glass, which I guess since essentially is I don't know if it destroyed the hair
Got
or
it.
the hair ended up somewhere else, and Raymond obviously was like, "Oh, it's missing."
So he has to go and refill
So now
it
he has to get
and
more.
hide
So
it.
like this is right. This is very important to what his journey is. Whatever
Okay.
I don't know why, obviously. But yeah, the hair is very important.
Yes.
And he knows his office has been touched. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
when Olivia's in there, all the drawers are like opening from Spirit and
Yeah.
whatever. But Abby's hair is also in there, and it seems like all these kids that have passed, that's all of their hair sample is in there because his family is the only one in town that does these funerals.
Right. So is it just that Raymond's just a little weirdo, or
Right.
is this part of his plan? Also, Raymond.
But also Grunwald is like, hurry
No, I
up.
know.
We need
Yes.
like she's aware of it.
She's aware of it. Also, Raymond, what is going on with Shelly? Calling her Shelly?
Yeah. Shelly.
There's something. There is something there.
I feel like they had obviously history there.
She says that to Olivia when Olivia questions her, like, "Oh, we dated in high school, or we were had a thing in
and your
high
dad
school."
didn't like him.
Right.
And which leads to Olivia now feeling, with Miranda's help, that maybe her uncle did kill her father.
Right.
Because he has this secret room and then he has these weapons and knives, and it seems like it could be plausible that he did this.
Olivia and Luke's dad was stabbed.
Yes.
And so, but they never found the murder weapon.
They never found the murder weapon. And Miranda says, well, I think I just saw it.
Yeah, because we see Raymond like holding a knife or
polishing his knife.
Which again, that could just be, leading us to think that.
Exactly.
I mean, Raymond's he's a weird dude, regardless. But whether he murdered the mayor,
he has almost no lines. He's just there to be brooding and mysterious.
He's doing a great job, Raymond.
And Michelle's into it. She's into it.
I'm into it.
Were you into this play? The plot of the play? Lots of P's there. Luke is forced to join this play by this random teacher again. This is the second time we see this guy. I'm like, what's the point of this
I think
teacher?
it's just a tie in high school. He's doing poorly, and so this is just for extra credit. Which to me, I understand you have to do extra credit because your grades are not well. But like, what if Luke is just like a terrible actor?
Right. Then you're like risking the play because you want Luke to do this extra credit.
And it seems like he has a big part. So
yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Whatever. I'm like every teen drama we cover always has a high school play, right?
It's got to have a play. It's got to have this tension between two characters.
Of course. Yeah.
So he's the lead alongside Tess, who in the third episode has a falling out with Olivia because she was into Springer.
Yeah.
And Olivia's like, he's my arch nemesis. Like, how dare you be with him? And then there's the argument of, actually, honestly, at this point, I kind of like tuned out.
Well, what I gathered from all of that is when we first meet Tess and Olivia, I assumed that these two were both popular girls. They were both besties. And then we find out that that's not really the case. Like Tess kind of glommed onto her and maybe used her for her popularity, but also really enjoyed spending time with her.
Right. That's what I gathered too. Like that they were quick friends and that she looked up to Olivia, but also played it off as though she was cool. And as Luke says in the pilot, like, you have friends that use you. And I guess he was referring to Tess because emotionally she was using her because she felt like she was never cool and Olivia is the cool girl.
Yeah.
And based their friendship off of that in the beginning. But then they also, really seem to like each other. So it's
I know.
like
I wish I mean, it doesn't matter, but
it doesn't.
I wish that we just had these two as like best friends for life from the beginning and they kind
From the
of
beginning.
ruled the school. And that because it would still hurt just as much if you were to find out your best friend from the whole time being was seeing your arch nemesis.
Yeah. Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Tess apparently I don't know, is it and not that it's implied. I don't know. For me, I felt like, and I don't. She doesn't say it, but it seems like maybe she's liked Luke,
I think so.
right?
Yeah.
And so in the play, of course, they have to
Of
kiss,
course.
and so she randomly kisses him so that they can get this weirdness out of the way,
As one does.
as one does, right? Like, you want me just gonna kiss you without your volition, like
Consent. Yep.
right, without your consent, and then Luke eventually does kiss her back.
Yeah, they like share a memory or she tells an embarrassing story about like honey nut honey peanuts.
Honey nut peanuts
Or something, and
but
she
it's
said
but she says
penis
penis
because of her
because she
list.
had braces, right? And he thought that was funny and cute and endearing story, and so I guess he kissed her after, and which unfortunately he then tells Remy, because I don't even know, he feels guilty, and he says to her, that kiss and being with Tess made me feel like myself before this whole thing started.
I get it.
Oh,
I get it.
totally.
And I am actually glad that we saw this conversation happen that he told Remy. I mean, it sucks and I feel bad for Remy.
For sure.
But for Luke, he's been the one out of the core that's having trouble really believing and leaning into this. It's a lot. It's very complicated. And so to have this escape and kind of ignore what's going on, why wouldn't you want to go towards the levity?
Totally. Right. And so they kind of like temporarily break up.
Yeah.
I don't. I guess so. Like I think this happens in the last episode, but Remy says like, get out, and they're upset, and but ultimately they're still there for each other because all this
Well,
craziness is
right. Right.
happening. But yeah, that was probably really hard to hear for Remy.
Of course.
Caleb is recognized by an elder woman out in the cemetery. He sees her trying to steal people's flowers on graves and goes up to her. I'm like, we couldn't have done any other thing for this woman to recognize him. But so she says, "Oh, Caleb, you're Henry's older brother. You look just like him." And so this prompts Caleb to investigate. Apparently, Caleb, the original Caleb, the OG Caleb was this Henry Rivers' older brother who had passed away. And so they go to visit Henry, who's at this adult living home. And nothing really happens there at the home. But then later on, Henry like comes busting through Caleb's door and is like, "You need this key." like, and I'm like, oh, is this real? Like, it could seem like it was like a vision,
For
right?
sure. For sure.
But then this Henry ends up dying.
That's how he does.
Yeah, he was scared to death.
Scared to death. And when Raymond shows Caleb, Caleb was just like, wow, that's how he died? He looks so scared. Or
He looks so scared.
he looks so scared. I don't know if that would have been my first reaction. Maybe it would be. It's just the way Caleb delivers it. But maybe Caleb is like so jaded by it at this point.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think about what exactly in this episode made me feel a little bit like.
Was it the keys and
maybe.
now it's,
yeah,
and they're connected to the school basement?
Yes. That was a little bit too overwhelming, too much information that wasn't really understandable. Like, you can't really put two and two together. And so this key randomly, Remy realizes, well, this has a number on it. So she had like all this knowledge. Like, she's like the Spencer. She's like, I did research back in the day that this means this and whatever. So this key leads them to the school, but because the school used to be a bank,
right,
in the basement,
right,
it's a bank vault. So and then that's really where that episode
they get the box
ends with that. Yeah. So they figure this like metal box, But again, like, it's all too perfect. Caleb has a key, and then it's just like this random box, and he's like, "Oh, this key must work for this box." I'm just like, "Oh, come on, this is a little ridiculous."
And the other big thing that happens in this episode is Luke and Tess are rehearsing on stage. Miranda goes to ask Luke where Caleb is, and Miranda sees who she thinks is her mother sitting in a chair on the stage
Yeah, and then Miranda is gone. She leaves with her mother.
Or who she thinks is her mother.
Well, she thinks is her mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we also have this episode, which I'm like, oh, Miranda is having these feelings for Caleb.
Oh, the email. Oh my God. And Hannah.
And so Caleb has been
email.
trying to figure out a way to tell Hannah what's going on without telling Hannah what's going on. So he types up an email. He doesn't like the email. And Miranda actually like types up this email for him. But she's crying through it because she's sad. She really loves him. But she's also dead and can't be with him.
Yeah.
And she's only known him for 3 days.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's the show. It's the show. It's the show.
Caleb did annoy me in the beginning of this episode, even though I understood. He kind of snaps at Miranda, and like, not for nothing, Caleb, but you chose to stay. It's not Miranda's fault you're choosing to stay. And he later on in episode 5, he does tell her, like, I'm not mad, this is confusion.
Yes.
I was like, Caleb, slow your roll, sir. You're choosing to, you can go. Miranda said, get out of here. Go. You're choosing. Anyway.
Yeah. He is choosing.
You're
and
choosing.
Obviously, there's so many things he has to figure out there.
Right.
In addition to Miranda and all that.
Yeah.
So she shows Caleb, here, I finished this email for you. Just send it to Hannah. Tell her how you feel.
There were so specific things in that email, like the way you eat your bagel. I was like, how does she? That's really weird, Miranda. That's really weird. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So with that, and then the ending of kind of confusion of where we're getting the key leads, I was like, okay, now they're starting to lose me just a little bit.
Okay.
And then this last episode, which is literally titled Scared to Death, Miranda wakes up in this like idyllic version of her childhood home, and she's reunited with her parents. But then there's this creepy little girl, Max, who's a mute, and they just found her and she lives with them.
Right. She was playing in the yard. And so she lives with them. But then we see her head turn around, which I did legitimately laugh out loud with this when her parents leave the room.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, now we're starting to really rev up the cringe a little bit. So Caleb dreams about Miranda's situation.
Yeah.
And he senses that Max is dangerous, and he's warning the group, like, I think Miranda's in trouble. So they investigate the box from the courthouse basement, and the group finds letters and photos and wedding vows suggested that the original Caleb and Miranda were married and tragically died on their wedding day in a boating accident.
Yes.
Remy sleepwalks into the basement. I must have honestly spaced out during this part. I'm like, oh, they're in the basement again. I didn't even know she sleptwalked into the basement of the old savings and loan bank.
Mm-hmm.
And the group finds 2 corpses
behind the wall. Which I don't remember what made them do this, but they pick up sledgehammers.
Right, because Mike's like, you just have random sledgehammers here.
And they break down the brick wall to discover the two skeletons.
Yeah. And they, by reading the things, all the stuff they have in this tomb, they realize their names are Thomas and Esther, and there's wedding bands, and there's other evidence linking to this mysterious past that everyone has. They discover that they had actually barricaded themselves in to basically kill themselves, to bring back Miranda and Caleb. The original Miranda.
I'm just confused on the link here.
Right. So are these the 2? So,
yeah.
These 2 plus Miranda and Caleb and one other person
would be
Was
would be a
would
5.
it be 5? Would be a 5 pact, and because they didn't die, they killed themselves.
Well, then where's
So
the
then this happened again.
so then
That
where's the 5th?
right. Who is the 5th? Is this maybe is this a mystery now? We're gonna have to figure out, or am I just reading into this?
No, we're trying to make sense of it because this is where
Right?
I'm lost. I'm like, why did these
Okay.
two think if they sacrificed themselves, why would it bring back, or why did they think it would bring back Caleb and Miranda to break the
Right.
curse?
Right. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. The math's not mathing. I'm not understanding why these two people killing themselves would bring back Miranda and Caleb, because if they're part of this pact, then again, who or where is this 5th person? Did they also die? I I don't know. It's confusing. And then we see Raymond has to dig up Miranda because he needs to get her the snip of her hair again. And then at this point, Grunwald is urging him like, hurry, hurry.
Yeah.
Suggesting that like there's like a ritual happening and like he's like closing the door, like the portal door is closing and like
Yes.
but like it's because they're finding this couple, Thomas and Esther. Like I don't know.
Also,
Again, this
Grunwald,
episode really lost me.
when Caleb finds a picture of what he dreamt about, this bedroom that
Yeah, the bedroom.
Miranda's in. So he goes to Grunwald and she's like, oh, that is the way she speaks too, just like kills me. But she's like, that is the address of the original home. And of course she knows it. And so she gives him the address. So then I'm like, you know what Caleb's up to. You're giving him information, but then you're also being like, Raymond, hurry it up.
Right. So who are you loyal to?
What are we doing here?
Or like, do Caleb and Miranda need to like did they need Caleb to die before he got Miranda's hair?
Right.
Like
Right.
like was she like, yeah, go there because Raymond also needs you to go there?
Right.
No idea. Absolutely no idea.
Mhm.
But they go to what was Miranda's parents' house that they had bought before Miranda was born.
Yep.
And it's abandoned, and the kids realize, oh, this is the house that we used to always run past that we thought was really creepy in town, and everyone said it was haunted. So they go in, there's nobody there, but it looks like Max is actually an evil spirit controlling all of this, and she is pretending to be Miranda's parents.
Right. So
like she's showing Miranda that her parents are here when it seems like they're not.
Right. And in the house when they first walk in, the clock is working.
Yeah,
the grandfather
like, that's
clock,
weird.
because you have to wind that. Also, there's 2 red coats.
Yes,
The 2 red coats from
the little girls' coats, which then we see in this episode that her and the other person were the twins in the town, or are we just assuming that?
I'm just assuming that, but
right?
Max is wearing the red coat when
Yeah.
she makes her appearance, and then when she makes her appearance in the hospital.
Well, that one part I was like, oh,
I know, me too. I was like, what?
Yeah, so to tie in Dylan, who's Olivia's boyfriend, he's actually trying to help out Olivia at this point because she has been distant from him since the accident. She's also like putting a lot of her time and effort into these new friends.
Yeah.
And he feels left out, and so he says like, how can I help you? And it brings them a little bit closer. And then we see at the end, to jump ship, the last scene, which I was like, okay, now I'm interested again, which I wasn't until this last scene. But Dylan is speaking to the ghostly girl, Max, and he says he won't be happy with this failure.
What?
Is that Raymond? Is that like, who are we talking about?
Like, Dylan, are you real? Are you
right? Have you been a ghost this whole time?
Because when Dylan first approaches Olivia and wanting to help, I was like, that's sweet. I'm like, I'm glad you're being It seemed like he was genuine and just wanting to be close to this girlfriend and help. But yeah, this act this drew me back in.
Yes, exactly. I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Whoa.
Did not see that coming. Now I'm interested again. Mike says, was Olivia's boyfriend only dating her because she is destined to be one of the 5?
Wow. Maybe. That's super interesting. That's interesting to me. That's like a huge, wow. That was planned out then.
That'd be planned out for a while. then.
Yeah, that's fate.
Right, yeah. So I mean that's really where
Well, I think
we have.
we should talk
Well,
about
we have to talk about
Caleb
Caleb.
and being in the house in
So
the
right,
bedroom.
so because they're in the house, they all are urging Miranda, "Can you get out? We need to get out. This is not safe." And the house is like falling apart or something. And they all jump out the 2-story window, and it looks like Caleb kind of like trips out the window, or is he pushed?
Well, before that is when Miranda finally realizes, like, oh, this is not it.
This is not my parents. Yeah.
Does the little girl say she's waiting for you in hell?
It reminds me of Bring It On in Hades.
I wrote, this is nuts.
What am I watching? What am I watching?
Forever and a day to jump out, because at this point everybody's out. Plus Miranda, you convinced her, and Caleb's like looking around. The house is falling down. I'm like, Caleb, what are you waiting for, bro?
Get out!
And then
Get out!
This push or fall or trip. I was like, this looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks terrible. Is right, and he like falls on the ground, and Miranda sees him, and then this scene, I was like, what? No, people, this is not giving. It's so cringy. And to mention, like, we keep seeing these flashbacks of original Miranda and Caleb and them loving each other and talking about their vows, which are I don't like their chemistry. I don't think they have good chemistry.
Not like this.
Not right. And then when Caleb is dead, he's like, this feels right. I'm like, what the heck is happening? What is happening?
And Miranda's like, no, you have to go back. I was like, is Caleb dying right now? Is this what?
Also, like, he just was like, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm fine. This feels right. I feel good to be here with you. Caleb, really? I mean, maybe this is like spirit Caleb,
yes,
and he
feels
content, right?
Yes.
And she's like, no, you need to go back. And so they do kind of bring him back to life, I guess, in the ambulance. And he seems to be, okay, but he basically died for like, I don't know, 10 seconds or whatever.
I don't know if we're going to get into it in next week's episode. I mean, not next week's episode, in the next episode. But does no one call family for Caleb? Also, Miss Hannah Marin makes an appearance in this episode via phone.
She does, via phone, which clearly they weren't. Like, it was like, oh, we'll just pull Ashley aside for a few minutes to do some to run some lines.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so they, I love you. She's like, I'm going to come to Ravenswood. I got a room at the motel for us. And he's like, don't do it. I'm coming home. Teddy bear. I was like, oh God, please stop. Please stop. But
yeah, I know. I was like, I hate this.
Yeah. But back to the hospital, when Caleb comes to, the group looks at Miranda. Miranda nods like, he's coming back, guys. He's fine. And they're just like, whew. I'm like, are we calling Hannah? Like, does this hospital, like, we need to contact this kid's
Jamie, his mother.
Also, mind you,
Hannah.
This kid was just brought in like 3 days ago from almost drowning in a car accident. And now he's back in the hospital for falling out of a window. Are we a little concerned here? He's also not a resident of Ravenswood.
This kid's got no ID on him. He's like, we don't know him. He doesn't live here. He just came into town 3 days ago. But now it's been a week, right?
But still, this is very traumatic things that happened to this one person within a week.
Exactly.
Who's in the hospital again. Yeah.
What an interesting way to turn. And so what I didn't realize, and I had told you that there are some episodes that overlap between 4B and Ravenswood. And so when we come back for these next 5 episodes, these are all running simultaneously with our 4B. So I didn't realize that they also took a break, came back in January, and then Pretty Little Liars came back up again in January.
So this was the mid-season finale,
basically,
pretty much?
Right. But I'm glad that we're honestly just gonna get through the next 5
Oh yeah, let's
and then
finish
go
this
back into Pretty
series.
Little Liars, because as a viewer watching it in real time, it was kind of like not confusing, but you're like, well, that's happening there, but that's happening over there, and like doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
From my memory, I don't think any of it mattered.
Wow.
Yeah. Is there anything else we have to talk about?
Who do you think Max is? Who is this little girl? This little demon child?
I know.
Spirit person.
Is she
being.
like Dylan's sister that has passed on?
Oh, maybe.
Because,
Maybe.
they're both blondish and
I mean,
they have this connection
right.
to each other.
Right. And if so, why? I don't know. What, I guess, like, what is the bigger thing here? Is the goal we have to kill the rest of the kids because Miranda died? And there was one point, doesn't Grunwald say to Raymond when the kids escape the house, like, oh, they all lived? So was she expecting them to die there?
Yeah, I think they just keep expecting them all to die.
Yeah.
Because that's what's happened in the past. But I'm confused because it seems that not when Thomas and Esther, their group of kids, didn't, because they didn't die until much later in life.
Have you watched?
Well, I don't know, actually, much later in life. Who knows when they actually died?
Have you watched 6 through 10 yet?
I haven't watched anything.
What are your hopes and dreams for the next set?
I'm a little negative. I'm just assuming that we're not gonna get much, and therefore it's gonna be kind of like this mumble jumble of like ridiculousness that doesn't actually make a coherent storyline.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just my feeling, and I hope that they prove me wrong, because I don't remember. Again, a broken record. I don't remember anything. Like I just assume, like, by the way I feel about this show, that it's a letdown, and therefore we're probably not going to get what we want out of it. What are you hoping for?
Well, the fact that this was canceled, I'm not going to assume we get a resolution of the bigger picture here, but I would love to know what Raymond's doing with the hair, and if we find out any more about Raymond and Shelley.
Yeah, I was just going to say, does that have something to do with what the curse is about? Because then it's the Collins and the Matheson something. So that because they have a history, and then now their kids know each other.
Right.
Well, not their kids, but ancestors or whatever.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with it?
And Dylan. I'm interested in Dylan.
Yeah. Hopes and dreams, like hope. Ideally, we understand why this curse is the way it is, and what Raymond has to do with all of this. But I'm gonna keep my expectations low.
Yeah, I'll keep them too. Actually, maybe
and Dylan.
Maybe Dylan's actually possessed currently, and that's why he goes to Olivia and he's like, "Hey, I want to help you."
He's kind of like the pawn in the game,
right?
Of Max and whoever's gonna be controlling Max, and he's not realizing that he's like being used,
right?
And he doesn't really have anything to do with it.
Yeah. But you know what? I look forward to finishing this series with you.
Me too.
And there's not much time in between when we're recording this and when we're going to watch the next set and record it. I mean, it's just a couple of days from now. So that's good.
Yeah.
That will feel good. It's still fresh in my mind, and we continue on. Yeah.
Totally.
But Liz, all in all, I'm very glad you decided that we were going to do this. So thank you.
Okay.
This has been this has been really fun for me. I'm enjoying this.
Okay, so, I'm glad. I'm glad. And for those of you who are not, I was gonna say, for those of you who are not here because you don't care, your choice. And those of you who are here, thanks for joining us on this Ravenswood journey.
Thank you.
Let us know your thoughts and feelings if you haven't already. And we're gonna do one more episode, and hopefully we get some answers.
Hopefully.
And if not, that's okay.
Yeah.
But maybe. Hopefully.
We'll see.
We'll see.